What's going on, YouTube? Another Tuesday update here for the hot tub aquaponic garden. As you can see, looking pretty green. Everything's looking pretty good. Hydro tube, a lot of death, but a couple of the remaining survivors are doing pretty good there. Another one down there. Other strawberries. Ooh, yeah, it's berry time right now. Check that out. Look at all the berries. So most of them are just popping off berries like that. The younger ones here aren't. Not yet. That guy right there. Got some more right over here. This guy's putting out some berries. That's what time it is. Oh yeah. But more right over here. Yeah, look at that. All kind of berries. So spring, I guess, is actually here. My little romaine grove here, looking good. Everybody's standing up pretty tall, looking good, starting to bunch up in the center. My giant Swiss chard here, I went ahead and I got all of this off of that just a minute ago. So that's quite a few nice branches there. Nothing really sitting right there right now at the moment, but little dinosaur kale right here, looking pretty nice. My little strawberries here, they just were runners a little bit ago, so they're not ready to start putting out some berries yet, but these ones looking kind of rough over here. These ones are looking half decent. But yeah, dinosaur kale, all three of those little guys right over here. The chard, little guy in front, looking pretty good. Trimmed him up a little bit. Guy in the back, trimmed him up a little bit. All the big sagging branches are all now gone. The little kale right here, looking pretty good. Nice. Still didn't get that brown fuzzy stuff yet, so that's pretty cool. The bigger one, got a little bit of growth down low there, and right up here, kind of, and then bam, forest. Big, huge bunching of the entire plant there, and no. Right there, you can see the stump there, actually. And then right over here, you can see that stump, no necrosis. Haha, look at that, pulled out a big word. No necrosis there on the stump there. If you see that stuff, you want to cut that off, because that'll probably kill your plant, I guess. I don't know. I keep trimming it back whenever I see it, and I don't know, the plants keep living, so I guess I'm doing something right. More dinosaur kale right over here. More flowering berries. They're all over this garden. Looking awesome. Another view of all those other ones I was just showing. All the way over here, there's that. What about the radicchio? It should be right in here somewhere. It's behind that bell siphon. I can't see it. This one's right here. I can see that guy. And it's right next to my pepper from last year. And bam! Got some leaves popping off. More strawberries over here, some berries, and then my whole cabbage grove. I keep calling them all groves, whatever. But yeah, cabbage all over here. See what we can do with these guys. Not very good with growing them. Gigantic kale here starts in this bed. It's all the way out and takes up like a quarter of this bed over here. Nice and bushy. Right below it, got some kale there. Couple of these little dinosaur kale here, looking pretty good. And right back there, that dying piece of whatever, that was my experiment that I cut off of this pepper right here, which is starting to put off new leaves. So I guess I got this guy to go ahead and overwinter as well. But yeah, not that little guy. Right over here, I'm not exactly sure what this guy is. It's some kind of goofy looking plant, so we'll figure that one out as it progresses. These carrots, they're just kind of annoying me at this point. They're not going to get any bigger, they're not going to do anything. Let's see here. Holy crap, that's like the biggest carrot I ever picked. Okay, well, maybe I'll take that back. Maybe they just need a long time in aquaponics. I don't know. That's the biggest one I've ever had, though. Look at that sucker, man. That's my finger. It's pretty freaking good. Alright, well, anyway, I'm going to free up some of this space over here, get rid of some of these carrots. Right over here, my Brussels, looking all beautiful. Trimmed them up a little bit, made them look a little bit pretty. My little kale here, looking very nice. The other kale, looks dead, but it's got a little bit of growth right down here. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll do something. What about this guy? Oh, look at that. Same thing. Holy heck. That's pretty big for aquaponics. Usually they don't like to go too very deep. That's right. Right over here, you notice black dots. Black dots coming up. Black dots right in there, all over the place, and missing leaf parts and stuff like that. Yep, had a pest. I finally found them. It took a while, and let's just say it, man. I fed them to the catfish. That way, the catfish can produce for my garden. But anyway, little Swiss chard looking pretty good. Bigger Swiss chard right behind it, looking awesome. Look at the trunk on that thing. Great. More carrots over here. I don't think there's anything behind here. Nope. Just like some dirt remnants. Oh yeah, that radicchio is looking pretty decent. Not too bad. Anyway, a couple more of the survivors in the hydro tube here. I'm not exactly sure. I was just trying to think very quickly on my toes, and I may just pull this entire hydro tube out of here and just go with another bed design. I'm not sure. It's always a work in progress over here. So, let's jump to the lemon balm. It's looking good. Green growth. Looking awesome. So, I guess you can overwinter lemon balm when it's not that cold. My lettuce here, all looking awesome. Starting to really, put off a bunch of leaves. And anyway, back to these guys. They were the cuttings from this jalapeno right here. And as you can see, that was there before, so it's not like I'm making any progress there. Over here, a few leaves fell off, but I think it may be trying to go a little bit right now. So, there's really nothing for it to, you've got to have some leaves for what, photosynthesis or whatever, and blah, 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 plant science. But, yeah, this is what I got. I stuck it in. We're going to see what it does, and it's not doing anything. But this guy, if you check this out, look at that. Growth right up, all up in there, and bam, right up on top. So, that's my jalapeno that I overwintered. Alright, now one of my favorite parts of growing is whenever you're sloppy, which I tend to be. And now I've just done it on purpose anymore. Because when you're sloppy, you end up dropping seeds, and then you get things like this, like a Malibar just popping right up in your bed next year, just because you lost a seed. So I'm hoping there's a bunch more seeds in here, so we can start a little Malibar grow. But I'm gonna have to get that one. You saw the one just a couple days ago in the indoor grow room. That one is now so big, it just jumped. It went from the bottom grow room, it is now in the top grow room. Just because, well, if you know about Malibar, they're a vining spinach. So it just started taking off, and man did it take off. It loves that master blend. Swirl filter, going very slow, but it's still kind of swirling, kind of filtering. Right down here we had our leek. And you can see we've got all kind of algae and stuff, but the leak has actually stopped because there's so much algae and garbage, it blocked up the leaks. So being lazy paid off. Woo! Electric box, just messing around. I'm going to move this. It's kind of like hanging, I don't know. It's too close to be considered hanging over the water, so I want to pull it off there, and I'm going to go ahead and secure it to the main beam because it's the main beam and it's a lot safer. And that's what I'm going to do, but that's a future project. I don't think I'm going to do a video about that because I don't think I need to. All I'm going to do is take these screws out that hold it onto this stick, put it over here and screw it in. So, bam, electrical, made simple. Well, at least that job. I also have to clean out the pump. I have not cleaned out this stinking pump since at least early fall. So I'm sure it's well blocked up, and I'm probably going to have to get another pump just as standby. Anyway, over here in the strawberries, as you can see, Got all kind of flowers, all kind of berries popping all up. Everybody wants to show off what they can do. Looking awesome. Missing a couple over here that aren't doing anything except, well, you know, they're about to. Right over here, look at this. It's that 5 berries all in a row. Beautiful. More right over here, way over here. I mean, they're just everywhere. So that's awesome. That makes me actually feel a lot better because, you know, it's really looking like it thinned out a lot in here. I was actually going to go out to my dirt garden where the strawberries go nuts, and I was going to go and start digging some of those up, but maybe I will, and maybe they will make it in the hydrant tube. But like I said, I'm thinking about moving this whole thing and trying something new, because gotta try something new every once in a while, right? Alright, well, anyway, yeah, had a couple more fish die off in here, but as you can see, it is looking pretty nice. We had that algae bloom, and there was algae all over the bottom of the tub. This is a white tub, which is a bad choice for keeping, well, having it outside and not putting chlorine in it. But, yeah, I had algae all over the walls, and as you can see right there, it's just kind of hit or miss right now, and it's not all over. The water actually had algae in it. As you can see, it is kind of really clear. So that is, I believe, the result of just adding a whole bunch of new plants there that are now sucking up some of the nutrients. I put some of that nutrient solution a couple weeks ago. I was talking about, I put that into my filter over there. And I don't know, I guess maybe it's a combination of all that stuff, so. But anyway, that was a long-winded walk around here, and a couple of things I was tossing around. I don't mind throwing that out there, because it's not like I'm saying I'm going to go ahead and modify it, but, I mean, let's be serious. I've got all these plants in here, and that's, well, only these plants in here, and everything else is dead, so I don't know why I'm kind of holding on to it anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it go. Plus it was undersized anyway, in case you're wondering. That's 2-inch pipe, 2-inch cups. Do 3-inch pipe with 2-inch cups. You know, 3-inch cups, 4-inch pipe, blah blah blah. But quick little tip there if you made it all the way to the end and you plan on doing some kind of hydro setup like this. But that's my main reason for giving up on the whole hydro tube, is just because I undersized it. And when you get even strawberries, you get a bunch of root growth going. You got to zip tie them up like this and all that, blah blah blah. If it was 3-inch pipe, you would have had clearance. It would have been able to grow, and the water would have been able to go around the roots, and it wouldn't stop it up like it does in here, because these roots really do get really freaking big. Yeah, you see. But oh yeah, that was the other thing. I've got this pump here, which is right there, goes all the way down, and there's the pump right there. It died on me. So I had that as a separate feed going on here. That was my secondary pump that was feeding the hydro tube. Here's another reason I want to get rid of it. So the old line right here, which I've got my shutoff here at the very end, I went ahead and turned this thing on. Yeah, I have to look way over there if I can zoom in. You can see how little it is draining. That's how little water I'm putting through here right now, just because that's all I can sacrifice from the other ones. Or maybe I can go a little bit more. I don't know. But that's all I did anyway. So that was another reason I was thinking about just ditching the whole hydro tube. And maybe put a bed right here on the side, bed on the other side right there. Something with small crops so that you can actually lean over and access the fish and feed them and stuff. I don't know. I also probably want to get rid of both of these tubs right here and do a 3 concrete tub design like this over there as well. So I don't know. Maybe I will. Ooh, I just got a better idea. Alright, yeah, we're gonna save that one for later. Alright, yeah, actually, I'll just tell it right now. 3 bed design this way, couple bed design that way, couple bed this way, leave it open over here for access to the tank. And incorporate the filter over here on this side somewhere. So, there we go. Bam. I'm gonna go ahead and use that as my plan. Right on the spot kind of thing. I don't know. Makes sense. That's, whatever. Yeah, sun comes up over here and goes down over there. So, yeah, that makes sense. Do the U-shape that way. Bam. Alright, look at that. That's how I make decisions around here, and that's how you get to watch me fail. So, Anyway, that was a very long-winded walk around this garden right here. So if you want, go ahead, throw up a thumbs up down below, share, comment, and all that fun happy media stuff down below, and subscribe. That way you can see me fail at this new design that I'm going to do. It'll be even better. Then I'll need another new pump. Just thought of that. Alright. Anyway, going to go get some chard on. Anyway, later.